Greetings comic book fans and welcome to my comic book reviews for the 3rd week of August 2015. It was an excellent week this week, some great books. I got 14 in total to review, but there were some real doozies in there. So without further ado, let's get into those reviews. So to kick things off with the indies, and I got 6 books from 3 different companies this week for the indies to review. Kicking it off with Image, and we have Birthright, issue number 10, written by Josh Williamson with art by Andre Besson. This is just one of the most consistent books in all of comics right now, and lately I kind of been unemployed. It's got me thinking about like where I spend my money and about the comics as well, and I'm kind of like, because like short term I'm okay, but long term I may have to cut some books if a job doesn't come up. And kind of looking, it kind of gets you thinking, well, which books could I live without? And I think Birthright would be on that short list of books that I would still get, because it's just, every issue is just so consistent. Last issue had the cliffhanger of Brennan standing up for his brother as he thought this spirit was helping him. This issue, the spirit convinces Brennan that he's there to help his brother, but then a whole host of other twists happen, and just brilliant stuff. So that was all really engrossing. We then have the scene with Raya and Mikey's mom as she finds out she's going to be a grandma, and we get the first clues of Mikey's last days in Tremonos, which is really interesting. The art, as always, is tremendous. There's a great spread when Raya's that's where Raya's talking to Mikey's mom, and we get that scene of Mikey's, the last time she saw Mikey. Art wise, this book is just spectacular all the way through. The story's engrossing, but always still, the thing I'm most excited about this book is the future, because there are so many interesting things. What happened to Rook, the guy who trained Mikey? We get a hint here that something bad happened to him. What happened to him and who was it by? Why did Mikey give in to the Nevermind and let it bond with him? Why, we get the end of the issue why Mikey came back, and that is a shocker. The last page is a real game changer, and I'm somebody who hates that phrase, game changer, because so often people will say it's a game changer and it isn't, but in this case it is. And you kind of, when Brennan finds out the truth about his brother, when Mikey's mom, his dad, they all find the truth, that's going to be fascinating to see. Raya, how is Mikey going to react? Does he know she's pregnant, or will this be, his way of finding out? Just really great stuff to come in the future, but the right now is also really excellent. Loving this book, and I give Birthright issue number 10 5 out of 5. So next up we go over to Valiant, and we have Book of Death issue number 2, written by Robert Venditti with art by Robert Gill and Doug Braithwaite. I like this one a lot better than the last issue. The epic conflict between Eternal Warrior and Unity as they throw down, and Eternal Warrior is just awesome. The way they write him for this battle is just brilliant, as he's kind of learnt their weaknesses and he uses those weaknesses against them. I did kind of have a minor gripe that they could have all just attacked him, but the way I kind of explained it in my mind is that it happens a lot quicker in real life than the way we're reading it. I think the time between panels is a lot shorter than you would usually have between panels. So I'm thinking it all does happen pretty quick, but it just slows it down reading it in the panels. That was the way I got around that, because if they'd have all steamed them at once, could he have fought them all off if they'd all attacked? But by facing them one at a time, it kind of gave the advantage to Eternal Warrior. But then maybe that's their tactical naivete. Maybe somebody like Eternal Warrior, who's been around so long, he knew that's how they'd go. I'm really loving how the story's developing. We get the reveal of who's manipulating this other geomancer. I didn't recognise the character, because I've only been reading Valiant since Christmas. So, there's still bits and pieces that are kind of, I don't know about the Valiant universe. So I don't know if this character's popped up before, if he's a totally new character. But it's still, we got the reveal at last, after 2 issues of teasing, we got the reveal of who's behind this other geomancer. Like I say, really enjoying how this developed. I thought this was a lot of fun, and I give Book of Death issue number 2 5 stars out of 5. And plus Valiant, for $3.99, they give you this cardboard cover, which is smashing. We don't get no extra stuff in the back this issue, but they do give you a nice kind of checklist of the books in the series. But yeah, Valiant make it feeling special, and that is brilliant, and not charging any extra for it. So next up we have Rye, issue number 9. This is from Valiant, written by Matt Kinter with art by Clayton Cray. I really enjoyed this. We don't get Rye to the end of the issue, but I didn't mind, because like we're flitting around the other characters and seeing what's happened to them after their plan to overthrow Father backfired last issue. We kind of catch up with everyone, and it's really cool. And despite, considering we've got so many stories going on, Matt Kinter does a great job of blending them together so it flows. It isn't kind of like sometimes when you have a lot of stories going on, it can feel like you're switching channels and you go. But with this, no, it flows beautifully, and you never feel like you're not getting enough time on each story. It works nicely, and when we get right at the end, that is just brilliant, and it leaves the book on a really nice cliffhanger. The art by Clayton Cray, I think really works well here, because whereas the other Valiant books are all set in the same time, this book is set in the future. So Clayton Cray's art makes it seem different from the rest of the Valiant universe, and that really works for it because it's set in a different time zone. So that works really well. Loving how the stories are developing. There's some really great moments in here. I like the bit with, if I can find it, you can never find a page when you want it. There's a nice bit with the new Rye is interrogating Spylock, sorry. And we have this bit here where he's been forced to watch this cartoon of his adventures, and I just loved the way that was illustrated and how it was different to the rest of the book. I thought that was really well done. All in all, still really enjoying it. Great to have it back. Yeah, it's the beginning of a new arc. It's probably not that new reader friendly, because even though they have a brilliant, inside page where they explain all what's happened thus far, they were like, that's only the broad strokes, and there's a lot more detail that you'll miss if you pick it up. I think you'd be a bit lost. So I think probably if you want to jump on board this, start from the first issue or the first trade. But Ray just continues to be a brilliant book, and I give issue number 9 5 stars out of 5. So next up we have Doctor Who, the Fourth Doctors, issue number 2. This is from Titan Comics, their summer Doctor Who event. It's written by Paul Cornell with art by Neil Edwards. I enjoyed this overall. I think when you think of the term mixed bag, I think this epitomises a mixed bag. We have these characters called the Reapers that show up because the 3 Doctors have turned up in the one place. I'm trying to find a good picture here. And they were in the TV episode Father's Day. Now in that episode they turned up because there was a paradox, because Rose and the Doctor had travelled 3 times to the moment her father died, and Rose, the 3rd time, chose to run to save her father, and this created a paradox because the 2 earlier versions disappeared of Rose and the Doctor, and it created a paradox. Because of that could only be fixed by setting things right and having Rose's dad die, and setting things back right, and the Reapers were there to try and cleanse the wound. So I understood that there's a paradox. Here the only reason, like they say, it's because the 3 Doctors have appeared at a fixed point in time, and I didn't quite get it. We've had so many times where multiple Doctors have turned up and we've never had the Reapers, and to me that didn't make no sense, and that hurt the story for me for a lot of it. I was kind of thinking, well, why are the Reapers here? This does not make sense. We do get a lot of chases down streets, which feels very Doctor Who. Yeah, it's streets, not corridors, but it still feels very Doctor Who. I like some of the interactions between the Doctors. At times, I think Paul Cornell doesn't quite get the voice of some of the Doctors, but overall, I like the interactions. Especially like how he writes the 12th Doctor. I think he does a really good job there. Disappointed we've got no War Doctor this issue, though by the end of the issue the story is moving on, and I'm enjoying it, but I did feel this issue had issues, and I'm going to give Doctor Who 4 Doctors issue number 2 3 stars out of 5. So next up, going back to Image, and we have Wolf issue number 2. This issue was I found very confusing in parts. There's a bit at the end where we have this bit in this prison, but the guy kind of speaks with kind of a lisp, and there's a lot of F's in the words that he says, and I found that, for me, slowed the story down as I was trying to make sense. Art-wise, there are some good moments, but I found at times as well the art was a bit rough. I like the stuff that's going on with Wolf and this young girl. I think that's very interesting, and I like the interactions between those characters, and Freddy's a really interesting character, as is Wolf. We don't get nothing with that guy, however we do get the answer of what's behind the door, and I found that a bit disappointing. All in all, there was enough here to bring me back next time that I kind of want to see where this goes, because I thought there were some interesting points, but also I thought there was some confusing parts that kind of damaged the issue for me, and the art was a bit inconsistent. So I'm going to give Wolf issue number 2 3 stars out of 5. So our final indie book this week, it is Ivar Timewalker issue number 8 from Valiant, written by Fred Van Linte, with art by Francis Portela. I'm just checking that Portela does all the art. How come you can never find the bit when you need it? Yeah, Francis Portela does all the art. This was awesome. It was really, really good. It concludes the second arc of the book, and our heroes arrive where the future Neela is hiding with the Penethians, and they're trying to destroy time, and because she's gone a bit insane in the brain. And we have some reunions, we have some great battles, we have some twists and turns, and it was just awesome all the way through. Really, really enjoyed this. I liked as well that usually you're used to the heroes swooping in, saving the day. That does not happen here, and by the end of the issue there's a couple of really big shocks that I'm really intrigued to see where this book's going to go, because there's some really interesting stuff happening here. This was just brilliant, really loved it. The art as well, I really enjoyed. I thought art-wise there was some great moments here. All in all, just great stuff, and I give Ivar Timewalker issue number 8 5 stars out of 5. So that concludes the indies. Next up, it's DC Comics. So here we are with DC Comics, and I've got 4 books from DC to review this week, and we're going to kick things off with Black Canary issue number 3. This was just great stuff, action-packed, stories constantly moving forward. We're finding out more stuff, getting more answers, but the answers we get just makes the story more interesting and intriguing. It still has that element of fun while keeping up the feel of that they're in peril and they're in danger. I'm just really loving this. I also love the touch of, in the back, we've got kind of like you'd get an article on a pop band and kind of telling you a bit more about some of the characters, which I really liked. I think that's a really nice touch. All in all, this is just a really great book. Really enjoying it, and I'm going to give Black Canary issue number 3 5 stars out of 5. We then have Martian Manhunter issue number 3, and this was great. I was slightly confused. Martian Manhunter doesn't commit suicide. There's like a twist with the tail. He uses some kind of Martian black magic to split himself into pieces so that he can hide in plain sight, if you will. And then kind of the story starts coming together, which is really good, and bits of the story that are fitting together now as we understand that some of these different characters are just different parts of the Martian Manhunter. But what I don't understand right now is, why did he split himself apart if he's going to put himself back together again? I'm like, surely the Martians are going to find him once he's together. I don't know. So that was something I didn't quite understand. Hopefully it'll get explained a bit more as we go on. I like the introduction of the Martian Man-Eater. That was really cool. Like I say, stories really come together and we're beginning to get answers. I'm really enjoying this. It was a lot of fun. I'm going to give Martian Manhunter issue number 3 4 stars out of 5. We then have Superman Wonder Woman issue number 20, and I gotta say again, for DC, these $3.99 books do feel thicker. These both were $2.99, and this definitely feels thicker than them. So that's one good thing with DC. At least when they charge more, you get more bang for your buck. Anyway, getting into the book itself, I felt we've got primarily 2 stories here. Superman going to the president to get an explanation of what's happened to his friends and family, while Wonder Woman's trying to break them out of the facility where they're held. And I felt the two stories work well together, and Tomasi manages them nicely. The art by Doug Mackey here is really good. I do feel a slight disconnect with why is the big mistrust for Superman just because he had a secret identity. It's like, surely with all what's happening, you're only proving his choice right, that he was right to have a secret identity, because now you're getting all this really crazy stuff going on, now that the people know who he is, and so like you're just proving that he was right to do that all these years. So yeah, that was a bit of a disconnect. All in all, this is really good. I'm liking in whole how Superman's been written, and it feels much more consistent throughout all the Superman books and all the DC books now, because kind of when the New 52 started, different books are different kind of versions of Superman, or it seemed that way, where now it does seem like they're all singing with the same voice, so that's good. I'm going to give Superman Wonder Woman issue number 20 4 stars out of 5. And finally for DC, we have Robin, Son of Batman issue number 3. Again, this is a $3.99 book. I really enjoyed this. Patrick Gleason is doing the art and the writing. We'll deal with the art first. I really like it. I think there's a good use of colours here to illustrate the different scenes. You know, and I really do enjoy Gleason's style. I'm trying to see if I can find some good. You can never find the double page spreads when you kind of need them. Yeah, there's some really nice moments. Like I really like that page. So all in all, I'm really liking the art. The story, yeah, I'm liking it. We kind of take a break in some ways from our main story of Robin's year of redemption for the Year of Blood that he did. So this is kind of like his year of redemption. And Nobody, the daughter of the character, she's the daughter of the original Nobody who Robin killed. And so she kind of has this thing to make him kind of pay back all the things that he's done wrong. And this issue we kind of see the two characters bonding a bit more, and it's a really interesting relationship Robin and Nobody have, and I enjoyed that. And though that at times it can feel a bit dialogue heavy, I really loved what's going on here, and the dynamic between these two characters I really liked. There's an interesting consequence for an action Nobody takes that I'm really looking forward to seeing how that goes, and seeing that character come into the book should be really good. I was a bit confused with what's going on with Talia al Ghul. That was a bit confusing. I understand she's trying to get out of wherever she is, but I didn't understand the whole ceremony that was going on with her. I didn't quite get that. But this was another really good issue. Really enjoying this. I'm liking the direction of the book, and I'm going to give Robin, Son of Batman issue number 3 4 stars out of 5. So next up we've got the reviews for Marvel Comics. So here we are now with the Marvel reviews, and just 3 books from Marvel this week to review. First up we have Star Wars issue number 8, written by Jason Aaron with art by Stuart Immonen. I'm not sure, I think this could be Immonen's first issue doing this, I can't quite remember. I think it is. I think, you know, last issue we had the Obi-Wan Kenobi story, and before that, I'm sure, yeah, David Cassidy finished that. So yeah, this could be Immonen's first issue. I really like the art. I've got to share some of the art here. I think Immonen just does a great job here, and I really did enjoy the art. And I think it gets a nice balance in making the characters look like the characters they are, but at the same time, making them not be like kind of these photorealistic kind of images. They're still comic book characters. So I like the balance he got there with the art. With the stories, we find primarily following 2 stories that work really well. We have Luke's journey to learn more about the Jedi, and he's a bit naive, is Luke, and that is like totally in character with where he is at this moment in time. So I'm really enjoying what's going on with Luke, and I'm interested to see how that's going to develop. We then get Han and Leia hiding out on this moon as the Imperials are trying to catch them, and this woman's turned up and claiming to be Han's wife. Han is pleading his innocence, and Leia just don't want to hear it. I felt the writing here was brilliant, because it just felt really like that's how Han would react, that's how Leia would react, and so I really liked the interactions between those characters on that moon. It was brilliant, and we kind of get the hint that there's more to this than we first thought last issue. And I'm liking it, and they're kind of winning me over with that, because I wasn't quite feeling the whole Han Solo's got a wife thing, but seeing how this goes, I'm kind of more on board. Yes, this just remains a really, really great book, and I'm going to give Star Wars issue number 8 5 stars out of 5. So now going over to our Secret Wars books, and we have House of M issue number 1. This is written by Dennis Opulus with art by Marco Failila. I hope I pronounced that right. This was good. I enjoyed it. It kind of introduces this world where the mutants are the upper class and the human beings are like the lower class kind of deal. The thing with all these books that are kind of based off events is like they've kind of been on Backwood for 8 years, so they're developed in a different way. So it's kind of like more, this isn't a continuation of House of M, but it's based on that world, but that the world's been able to develop for like kind of like 8 years. So I don't know whereabouts this fits in, because we've got Hawkeye here, so I don't know where this all fits in with where we were before with when we had the miniseries, or the event that this come from. But I thought this starts off really well. There's a lot of stories going on. We have got a nice inner monologue from Magneto, kind of setting up this world and what it is. We have the Red Guard, led by Wolverine, who are trying to track down the human resistance. We have a big battle between, a massacre basically, and we have 3 characters that are on the run from the Red Guard. We have Wanda, Scarlet Witch, trying to get a handle on her kids who are just acting out, and we have Quicksilver up to no good. So I'm really liking this. By the end of the issue it feels a bit more focused, and we know where we're going now. I enjoyed it overall. It didn't blow me away, but I thought it set up the series well, and I'm going to give House of M issue number 1 4 stars out of 5. We then have A Weird World issue number 3, written by Jason Aaron and art by Mike Del Mundo. The art in here is just totally unique. I really, really like it. Interestingly coloured, but at the same time very interestingly coloured, and very, very unique. Really loving the art here. The story's just bonkers but brilliant all at the same time. We have this character called Archon who's trying to find his where he comes from, and but he's lost his map to how to get back there, so he's travelling through Weird World. We're introduced to a new character. Oh god, what's the dude's name? Something the Slayer, wasn't it? It's going to take me time, isn't it? Always does. Skull the Slayer, that's his name. He's this new character who they've brought in to take out Archon. Really good stuff here. I'm really enjoying this. It is bonkers, but bonkers in a great way, and the art is just unique and different to anything else that I kind of really I can put my hand on right now. So yeah, I'm loving it. I'm going to give Weird World issue number 3 5 stars out of 5. So next up, it is my pick of the week. So my pick of the week for the 3rd week of August 2015 is Justice League issue number 43. This was just awesome. In a word, that is the best way. It was a mega-sized dose of awesomeness. It is written by it's not Jason Aaron, it's Jeff Johns writes it, with art by Jason Fabok. And it's this epic story that just feels like an event, and it is brilliant, and I'm just loving it. And it's funny how things go. Secret Wars feels like it as an event. While I'm enjoying it, it does feel like it's a bit of a slower event. But this is coming out on an even longer thing. Like, I think Secret Wars we get about every 2-3 weeks. We get an issue of Secret Wars. With Justice League, we get it every month. Yeah, it doesn't feel slow to me. I'm just loving every single issue. We have what's going on with Superman and Lex on Apocalypse. That is just awesome, as Superman's feeling the effects of not having a sun to get energy from, so he's losing power. We have Batman now owns the Morbius chair, and they're concerned for his well-being, that the effect of being in the Morbius chair will have on him. It feels as well like some of the different parts are coming together as Mr. Miracle meets up with our main heroes. I'm still totally loving Mr. Miracle. He's just a cool character, and I'm loving that. There are some really great big moments here that are just gorgeously illustrated by Fabak here, as the Anti-Monitor and Darkseid and their forces kind of meet up, and the heroes are stuck in the middle. There's just a great moment here where Darkseid turns up, and that is just awesome. But just all the way through, the art is just incredibly brilliant, and I'm really so pleased because Jason Fabak, you know, he's a really good artist, and this book is giving him the opportunity to showcase his awesome skills. But yeah, this has just been a fantastic series of late. It's gone from a series that was always on my list that I was thinking of maybe dropping, to one of the books that if I had to cut my list down to say 10 books, this book would be on there. Super consistent, awesome, epic story. Justice League issue number 43 is my pick of the week. So if you to the end of my video, which can mean it's time for only one thing, it is time to find out who's the company of the week. And what this is that each week I would take, say for example, the Marvel books. I would add the average score, the scores that they've got for each book. I would divide it by the number of Marvel books I've reviewed, and that will give me a nice average score. I would then do the same with DC and the Indies, and then whoever has the best average score, they become company of the week. So in third place this week we have the Indies with a 4.3 average rating, and it's kind of interesting that they had the most books this week. That was the biggest kind of category that I had this week. In second place we have DC with an average rating of 4.4, and in first place we have Marvel with an average rating of 4.6. Again, interestingly, I had the least books from Marvel this week. They were just 3 books. So that is interesting. I'm going to keep an eye on that, if there's any correlation each week between like the number of books and who gets like company of the week. But yeah, so this week it is Marvel. They are my company of the week. So that is pretty much me done. I will be back on Wednesday with a haul video. I think it's 16 books at the moment that I should be getting, so 2 more, so not too bad. I do miss, it's kind of like, on the one hand I do miss the days of like where I'd have under 10 books, but at the same time I kind of really enjoy reading all the books that I'm reading. So it's that strange situation where I kind of, in one way it's nice to have those small weeks, but in the other way I do love my comics. Anywho, that's enough for me twittering on. Thank you very much for watching my video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, give me those beautiful thumbs up. Let me know you like my video. Like I said, I will be back on Wednesday. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Jason. This has been my comic book reviews. Bye for now.